don't know how to describe it. It's like a part of them and their anatomy. They're like aliens trapped into a human male's body. Let me just, okay. Let me give you guys like the vision. Okay. So when it comes to smut, this much smut. When it comes to plot, this much plot. I'm dead ass. When I say it was every chapter, every page, and listen, your girl loves some smut, but I was like, damn. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel if you're a returning subscriber, and if you're new, what's up? In today's video, as you guys can see from the title, I am coming to you guys with like my top 10 favorite books of black women romances. Okay, so listen, I just love me a good book with a black woman getting loved up on. So as it is Black History Month and it is the month of love, I know Valentine's Day has passed since I'm recording this. It is February 21st, so you know Valentine's Day is over, but at the end of the day, February is the month of love and it is Black History Month. So again, like I told you guys in my previous video, I wanted to combine the two, so I figured why not come to you guys with a whole bunch of books that are black woman romances. So what I mean by that is just black women either with like black men or non-black men. I'm gonna be honest, when I came up, because this is going to be split up and maybe into like 3 parts, I'm not going to even lie to you guys, just because I have a lot of books and I know how I am when it comes to editing. I don't want to edit a video with like a whole bunch of books and stuff because I just don't want to. So I'm going to have to split this video maybe into like 3 parts, maybe 2, we'll see. But originally when I came up with this first pile of books, all of them were black women with non-black men except for one book. So I was like, that ain't, I mean, it could have worked, but I'm just like, maybe I should just keep it with the whole non-black men, so like interracial relationship for this first part. Because I mean, again, I had like a total of 10 books and 9 of them were interracial, and then the only one was of black romance. So I was like, maybe I should just do it to where this is the whole entire video of this first part being interracial romances with black women and non-black men. So I was like, okay, that's what we're gonna do, because I have quite a bit of them. So I ended up taking out that book and adding another one in. So yeah, all of these books are going to be of black women with non-black men, and you have some that are either like reverse harem or just one single girl-guy relationship. If you guys don't know what reverse harem is, it's usually one woman and like 3 to 4 guys, you know, something like that. So yeah, I have some of those, and then I have just a woman, man, you know, 1 of each gender and then together, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much how this pile is come together. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Some of these books you may have heard already on this channel, some of these you may have never heard of me speak of. Rocky wants to play with his toys right now at this very moment that I'm recording. No, Rocky, no, 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 Rocky, no. Anyways, y'all, like I was saying, let me just go ahead and hop right into the video. So let's just go ahead, yeah, and jump right into the video. Okay, you guys, so I try to put these books in order for like the ones that are in my top tier, 10 out of 10 recommend. Even though I recommend all of these books, some of them I enjoyed and loved more than others. So like my very last book is a book I would recommend, but I mean, again, I haven't read it in a while, and it also isn't like my top favorite book. Okay, when it comes to like black women romances, but I mean, it did a good job at the time. I think now that I'm like rethinking about it as I was choosing these books, I was like, at the time I was really enjoying it, but now I'm like, you know what I'm saying? And then of course my very first book I'm going to recommend to you guys is, when I read it I loved it, and even thinking back on it now I might need to reread it, even though I know I'm still love it because it was 10 out of 10 recommend. That's pretty much how I have these books in order. So just to give you guys a heads up. But the first book I'm coming to you guys is by Tia Rain, and it is called Alpha. So if you guys are not new to the channel, and you guys have probably seen me talk about this book before here on this channel. I actually read this on my Kindle, and so a lot of these books are actually on Kindle Unlimited, but I ended up just buying the book, the physical copy, because I love them so much that I wanted it on my physical bookshelf. You guys have most likely heard me talk about this book, especially in my video of reading 1-star reviews on my 5-star reads. If you guys remember that video, because this was a 5-star read for me, and I read 1-star reviews on it, and you know, we all have our own little opinion, and that is fine. We all have our own little, you know, experience with books, and that is okay. But this was a 5-star then, and I'm pretty sure it's still gonna be a 5-star now. This is a paranormal romance. Love me a good paranormal romance, okay? I had a phase where that's all I read were black women romances that were paranormal romances, and baby, I ate them up, eating them like, I think that was like, was it either, it was probably 2022 when I first got my Kindle, and I read like a bajillion books in that 1 month. I think it was February or March. And that's when and in that month in 2022, I continuously kept reading paranormal romances, because that's how much I loved a paranormal romance. And so this was one of them. This is Alpha. I can just go ahead and read you guys a synopsis since it's short, simple, and sweet. It says, Morgan Downs' life was unexceptional. She was stuck in an abusive, loveless marriage and often made to feel inferior by her parents because of a speech impediment. Though as bad as her life was, she never expected to be kidnapped from her home and taken to a private military base to become a test subject for a government science experiment. However, things changed when Morgan met Alpha. She should be afraid of him. He wasn't quite human after all. Alpha was a genetically enhanced super soldier, and Morgan had been captured to bear his offspring. However, Morgan finds that Alpha wasn't the real monster behind those confined walls. They were both captives of the mad scientist, Dr. Ryder Strong. So that's the synopsis, okay? Now I will give you guys, maybe like that might be a con for you, which I kind of sort of do agree with now from the 1-star reviews of this book, is that there are some typos. There are some typos that is kind of like, whoa, but at the same time, it's not, it wasn't a negative thing for me, simply because I knew what she meant in the moment I was reading it. So I guess that's why it didn't negatively impact how I rated this book, because again, I knew what she was talking about in the end. But there are going to be some typos, because I just figured me reading this whole synopsis there was a typo in this, and it had me double checking what I was reading. But yeah, there is going to be some typos in the book, but it's not too much that you can't bear it, or it all just depends on how far along you can go with reading books that have typos. But again, this is a book on Kindle Unlimited, and I feel like at the same time you can tell by like the cover and stuff that it's not something that's like a with a publisher or nothing like that. So I don't rate them as hard as those books, because again, you know, they're not backed by a publisher or nothing like that. So I don't rate them as hard when it comes to the typos or things of that nature. But again, it's about Morgan. She has a speech impediment, and she ends up getting abducted, and then she's pretty much used as a slave to become pregnant by these super soldiers, because the super soldiers aren't human at all. They don't have any type of emotions or nothing like that, but they are very good at like killing, and they want to use them like for war and stuff. But they're like, we need women so that they can be like half super soldier and half human, so they can still have the ability to have emotions and stuff like that, but at the same time can kill and be like deadly, pretty much. So like have the best of both worlds. So they capture a whole bunch. Well, first they ended up paying a whole bunch of women, but eventually a lot of women was saying no, and they needed more women, even though more women started saying no. So then they just started to go and abduct women and use them and pretty much force them to have sex with the soldiers. And so these super soldiers are Winter Soldier, Captain America, strong as hell motherfuckers, okay? And so when it came to some of the sex scenes, they were like damn near killing some of the women in like when they were having sex, because it was just that painful and rough and violent, if I do say so myself. And Alpha, he is supposed to be, again, the alpha of all the super soldiers. So he like runs, he's the head bitch in charge pretty much. And again, they're supposed to be emotionless, but then, you know, he sees Morgan and he just feels some type of way about her. He's not as scary or as like evil as they are perceived, because he pretty much, that's his mate. You know how they be in the paranormal romances. Well, that's their mate and stuff like that. That's pretty much what Morgan is to him. So it's just like, girl, I love me a paranormal romance. If you guys like paranormal romances, maybe this gonna be it for you. Cause ooh, I loved it. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Second book I'm going to show you guys is also a part of this series, and it's called Sigma. This is also by Tia Rain. This is also set in the same like event. It's actually set, I want to say, during the same time. It's set in the same time, but it's of two different characters. So with Sigma, what was his name? Oh, his name's Sigma. He is a super soldier. He's under Alpha, and then for this book the main character is Shiloh Green. So it says Shiloh Green has had the worst luck when it comes to men. For the last 7 years she's been trapped in a relationship with her kingpin boyfriend. The opportunity to escape comes knocking when a mysterious businessman visits. Now Shiloh is headed to a top secret military base to be a volunteer breeder for a government experiment. Things go south quickly and she starts to doubt her decision to leave until she meets him. Sigma is a quiet recluse who wants nothing to do with the fragile female human until he realizes she's his mate. Now Shiloh and Sigma will survive a psycho ex-boyfriend, an enemy from her past, a slighted road, and a mad scientist. Will they make it out the compound alive, or will their love be destroyed? So again, this is Sigma, and he finds his mate, Shiloh, but he doesn't really want a mate. He doesn't want anything to do with female humans. What? Female humans. He doesn't want to deal with them because, okay, also I think I failed to mention, even though these are super soldiers, they are also alien. That's kind of where the paranormal kicks in, because they're aliens. They're like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a part of them and their anatomy. They're like aliens trapped into a human male's body. Stay with me now, okay? I know you looking at me like, sis, what's going on? Okay, like alien brain, alien memories. They were aliens, but now they're like inside, are now put into a human male's body, pretty much. So when he says he doesn't want to deal with female humans, it's because he's really an alien, and so he, like, when he was an alien, he was married to an alien. But then, I don't want to spoil the story, but blase. So now that he's trapped into a human male's body, he's perceived as a human male, even though he's really a super soldier. So he's not even really human, he's alien, but his body physically looks like a human male. And he has the anatomy of a human. And he doesn't want to deal with humans. Listen, at the end of the day, just read the damn book, okay? Just read the damn books, and then you understand what the hell I'm talking about. Because I feel like, again, I'm not really the best at explaining stuff, but I would highly recommend these two books. Tia Rain, she was my top author for 2022. 2022, she was my top author. Girl, I was eating her shit the fuck up. I think I had about one more other book from her in this series. Not in this series, but just like, well, in the paranormal series, if I do say so myself, but not this particular series together. But these two, I'm really hoping that it is a continuous, because there's other super soldiers that they mention throughout the book, but this again is about Alpha and this one is about Sigma. So I'm hoping that this is a continuous series where she continues with the other super soldiers, so they get their own story. So far it's just Alpha and Sigma, and again, you can read these on Kindle Unlimited if you have a Kindle, or if you just have the app, or just buy the physical copy. So those are those. So next, coming in at number 3, I've talked about this author too many damn times on this channel, honestly, but you guys should not be shocked, because again, I talked about her so much, and this is now stepping into like the reverse harem genre, I will say so myself. First one, or the third one I should say, is Sins of the Father by Smoggy. Again, this is also on Kindle Unlimited, but I decided to buy the physical copy because I love the book and I wanted to support, and I wanted it on my bookshelf, even though it's really on my nightstand right now. I promise you guys are going to get a video of me redecorating my bookshelves. I promise you, okay? But Again, Sins of the Father by Smoggy. This is a reverse harem book. Again, reverse harem is just like one female and like 3 or 4 other males. Okay, it's kind of giving like why choose type stuff, and I'm all about the why choose, you know. Why can't I just have it all? And in this case, she has it all, baby. Oh, I love this book so much. Not only because the smut, I love the main character, but I also really just love, and I've learned from not only this book, but what was the other book that I read? What was it called? Scarred by Emily McIntyre. I like the books where they're set in like a royal setting, if that makes any sense. Like, you know, like a king, queen, medieval type scene. I really love a book that is set in that type of setting, and that's where this one comes in. It is set in like a medieval king, queen, gotta take down the king because he's evil type shit setting, and I realize I love that with some smut added into. It's 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, but okay, so the synopsis of this reads: there's a fine line between love and hate that becomes married by vengeance. Kida Garutu, aka the infamous warrior Bullseye, is a leader of a ruthless group of men known as the Blood Eagles. Banded by the hatred that festered for the genocidal King Roman Bennett, the Blood Eagles have one mission: to destroy the Bennett Empire and slaughter King Roman's entire family. I don't know why I said that so funny. Slaughter his entire family. But how does a group of 6 bring down an empire of thousands ruled by the most powerful men in the land? The fierce dark-skinned warrior with an afro for a crown who has never lost a fight is appointed to the challenge. To infiltrate and dismantle from the inside out, Kida must masquerade as the very antithesis of what she stands for, a noble woman. And so, Kida transforms, respectable noble woman by day, merciless assassin by night. Nothing will get in the way of Kida's revenge until a certain curly, red-haired, green-eyed prince becomes completely infatuated with her. Kida may have met her match with Prince Isaac Bennett, but with 2 warrior lovers, Micah Crumb and Dominic Suege, expecting her to bring the prince's head, Kida soon finds herself in the most impossible situation. So, again, I hope you guys kind of understood that. It's pretty much where Kida is going in as an undercover noble woman. She's trying to infiltrate the king's family because she wants to take down and kill the whole entire Bennett empire and kill the king. But when it comes down to the son, what was his name again? Isaac Bennett, who is the prince, he becomes very infatuated with her. She comes a little bit more infatuated with him. Okay, and obviously that is like a no-no because she's trying to kill him and his dad and all of them because his dad is like an evil son of a bitch, okay, honestly. And obviously with her becoming infatuated with Isaac and him doing the same with her, that is very much a conflict because not only is she trying to kill him and his family, but she has 2 other lovers who are a part of her Blood Eagle tribe, Micah and Dominic, and they are expecting her to kill Isaac and his family. But again, she's falling for him, he's falling for her, and she already has 2 lovers that already hate Isaac and his family. So it's like it's a little bit of a conflict between the 2, you get what I'm saying? Because, you know, we're supposed to kill dude, but you're not supposed to fall in love with him. But anyways, baby, I love this book. I actually recommended this to Memes, okay? She knows what I'm talking about, okay? I told her, read this. It's 10 out of 10. Would recommend, and I highly recommend that you all also check into this book as well. So again, Sins of the Father by Smoggy. But again, coming in at number 4, it's going to be also by Smoggy, and it is Damage. This is a part of the Sons of the Elite series, so there is 4 books. I do have the other 3 here. I just decided not to pick them up because you got to get through the first one to get to the other ones anyway. So Damage, again, first book in a 4-book series, and I can go ahead and read you guys a synopsis of this one. It states, love, wealth, success, Gabrielle Johansson has attained all 3 as one of Los Angeles' most hardworking and successful young black professionals. In addition to becoming one of LA's best surgeons, she is also engaged to world-renowned artist Damien DuPont. All that seems to change when she gets a phone call that Steve Richardson, beloved friend of the family and father of her childhood best friends Chris and Charlie, passed away. Upon her return to rural Pennsylvania, she is overwhelmed with memories of her childhood, family, and friends. In an attempt to rekindle old friendships, Gabrielle is forced to face old buried feelings for the Richardson brothers and find herself constantly succumbing to repressed desires. But what are her childhood best friends really hiding? She soon finds herself in the crosshairs of a toxic feud involving intense violence, dishonesty, love, and unthinkable betrayal. Again, that's the synopsis of Damaged. Again, 4-book series. Highly recommend. I will give you guys a forewarning though. When it comes to the 4th book, when I say that book, let me just, okay, let me give you guys like the vision. Okay, so when it comes to smut, this much smut. When it comes to plot, this much plot. I'm dead ass. When I say it was every chapter, every page, and listen, your girl loves some smut, but I was like, damn, this is a lot. And I'm not gonna lie, the last book in the series is titled Foreplay. Do with that what you will. And also I want to mention, I know it only mentioned 2 lovers, 2 brothers, Chris and Charlie in this one, but you will get introduced to the 3rd dude. I want to say in the 2nd book. Yeah, in the 2nd book. So it is 3. You get introduced to the first 2, you know. And then they throw in the 3rd one. Or you kind of mention him a little bit in here, and then he really pops up in the 2nd book. But yes, this one, just know when you get to the 4th book, you be like, damn, is there any plot to this? Because it just seems like a whole bunch of smut. And I'm telling you now, it is. It was a lot of smut in the 4th book. But other than that, I highly recommend. And again, all 4 of the books are on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, so the next books that I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to show you guys all of these 3 together because these are not new. These are fairly old. I feel like everybody and their mama has these books on their bookshelf at one point in time, okay? But it is none other than the Brown Sisters series. I mean, I'll be shocked. I said we should all have these on our bookshelves. I feel like you guys probably knew what I was talking about. But again, it is the Get a Life Chloe Brown. We got the Take a Hint Danny Brown. And then we have Act Your Age Eve Brown. These are all by Talia Hibbert, okay? I have finished 2 out of the 3 books. I did not finish Act Your Age Eve Brown at the time. When did I stop at? And my goal actually this year, I don't know if I told you guys this, but I did like write this down, or I did think about it that I wanted to finish this. I stopped on chapter 10, so page 150. But I did want to eventually finish this book. I think one of the reasons why I didn't is you guys already know I don't like long chapters, and I do feel like with these books the chapters are pretty lengthy. They're pretty freaking lengthy, okay, and I don't like long chapters. So I was like, oh no, I'm just gonna take a pause on it, and I just never came back to this. And this might have been in 2022 as well, so it's been a long time. But I love me some Talia Hibbert. Every time I pick it up, when I pick up one of her books, she just always makes me laugh. Like, I love like the way she writes and stuff like that, because it's just very funny to me. But again, I'm not going to go into too much detail of these, because again, I feel like we all have heard these books, I've seen these books before. But if I had to put them in order for my favorite, it would probably be Take a Hint Danny Brown, Get a Life Chloe Brown, and then Act Your Age Eve Brown. And that's just last because I haven't finished it, even though I was very much enjoying it. And I can kind of relate to her the most out of all the sisters, if I'm being honest. I was like, but yeah, that was 7. I just included 5, 6, 7 in one little clip, okay? And then we have 8, 9, 10 left. So coming in at number 8 is also by Tia Rain, and this is going to be Chayton, I think is how you pronounce it. It's such a stupid name. I don't know why. She could have just really called the boy Clayton, if we really be honest. But I guess it's called Chayton, as you guys can kind of get the hint of how her books go. She typically titles the books with the male character's name, and then like you see the male character chest and shit. Okay. So these probably are not like the best looking covers, but at the same time, I love the story, and I believe this is in fact a series that's supposed to be continued, like it's supposed to be another book that's coming, because it says book 1 of the Dark Wood series on here, so it's gonna be more books in the series and I cannot wait. This is also another paranormal romance. I could go ahead and read you guys synopsis here. It says, for Chayton, 5 years ago, I walked away from my pack and my true mate to save my son's life. It's a decision I will never regret. Since then, I've lived with only one focus, to protect my son at all costs. Once again, I'm faced with the decision to save his life. I'm forced to either marry the human that saved him or watch my son die. The latter is never an option. And then under Elizabeth's, it says, I moved away from the city to fulfill my mother's dying wish. I had no idea I'd become a part of a world found only in fiction. Yet here I am, mated to an alpha that wants nothing to do with me. However, for the little boy that crashed into my life, I'll do whatever it takes, even if it means going toe-to-toe with a shifter. 2 lives were brought together by accident. Will they accept their new roles as mates, or does fate have another plan? So again, this is the fated mate type series, paranormal, werewolf, shapeshifter type shit going on. And I do understand some of the critiques of this book, because for the longest time, Chayton was trying to fight his feelings towards Elizabeth, because he, again, as it said in his synopsis, he felt like he left his true mate, or he did leave someone, but he assumed that was his true mate. But when you get to the very end and you get to all like the nitty gritty of it all, it explains why his behavior towards Elizabeth was kind of low-key trash. It wasn't as romantic as you probably would have expected from a romance book, but I'm expecting for like book 2 and the other books to come within this series to like really, like, you feel what I'm saying, clean up everything that needs to be cleaned the fuck up. Because I understood, like, it's also a forced marriage type thing, like marriage of convenience type trope as well. So I mean, obviously with those type of like tropes, the person isn't really obviously wanting to get married. They have to get married for a reason, and it typically ain't love. Okay, let's just be honest. So I mean, I understood well like his hostility towards the relationship was coming from, and I understand why people may have like said they didn't like it because of that. But when you get to the end and when everything's explained, it'll make sense, and I feel like hopefully she'll clean everything up for book 2 to where it's like it's giving all the romance it needs to. But personally, I loved it. The smut was top tier. It was a scene in there. I don't know if I obviously didn't bookmark it in here, because again, I got all these books like at once after I read them on my Kindle. Again, Kindle Unlimited. But it was a scene because he's a werewolf, so he has a really good sense of smell, and because like she's his mate, he could smell when she was aroused. Girl, I forgot the words verbatim, but I remember she asked him something about, did it smell bad or something? Did her arousal smell bad? Because of course he's a werewolf, so his like sense of smell is like 10 out of 10. And she asked him something like, did it smell bad or something like that? And he was like, it was like the most amazing smell ever. He literally wanted to rub his nose in it. I was like, I don't know the words verbatim, but bitch, that motherfucking thing, to summarize it up, that summarization stayed into my head. It's 2024. I read this in 2022, and that summarization of that whole statement is still in my head in 2024, 2 years later, and I still remember what he said along the lines of him wanting to rub his nose in it. When I tell you, bitch, don't play with me. I don't care. I love the smut in this. Okay, it was 10 out of 10 recommend. Okay, so again, Chayton, could have really called him Clayton, but okay, Chayton by Tia Rain, coming in number 8. Alrighty, so coming in at number 9, it's gonna be The King Seer by L.S. Bethel. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. This is a 3-book series, if I'm not mistaken. This is also, again, majority of these books, besides the Brown sisters, and I think this last book, they're all on Kindle Unlimited, okay? But this one, okay, let me see if I can remember. I can't remember the character's name. I ain't gonna have. But I'll just give you guys a little gist of what this was about. This was about a girl who, she ends up getting trapped into this mysterious world, falling into the ocean or the lake that's below the bridge, and the stream is very heavy, is flowing very strong. It's just pulling her and pulling her away. And so she ends up kind of semi-drowning, kind of not drowning, but either way, she ends up letting the stream pull her to on shore. She gets on the shore, and then it's a guy there who is dressed in this medieval type of like dress up, okay, and like a king queen type, you know, like Bridgerton. I feel like they would be dressed up like that pretty much. And so she's like, where the hell am I? Because like all she did was fall into the river, and the tides and the stuff, the water took her somewhere. But she looks like she's looking around like this is a whole different world. I just pretty much thought she was a fucking enemy, pretty much, because the way she was dressed, like she had on just like some regular jeans and a shirt, and you know what we see every day in this world, and they was dressed like they was in Bridgerton. So she was like, where the hell am I? And they was like, who the hell are you? They think she's an enemy. So they end up taking her and trying to like imprison her and stuff. But then the king, because what happens when she falls on shore, we transport to the male's point of view. He's a king. Well, he can't be sworn in as king because he needs a queen. His father just passed away, so he's in like a carriage with him and his mother, and they have to stop abruptly because they see somebody in the trail, which happens to be her. And so when all that works out, they end up taking her and imprisoning her, and then he goes to see what has stopped them in their path, and he sees how they're treating her and stuff like that. So they end up he ends up telling them to let her go and let him like deal with her and stuff like that. And she's just constantly telling them that I'm not a terrorist or whatever the hell they keep calling me. I don't know where I am or what's going on. And he just looking at her like she crazy, and then she looking at him like he crazy, because they're like from 2 different time zones, it feels like, but they're in the same world or something like that. And so long story short, it ends up coming out that she's his seer, the king's seer. So she can see his future and see like what people like want to harm him and do shit to him and stuff like that. So of course he wants to keep her close by and stuff. But obviously a romance brews between them two as well. But the thing is, some people don't like her, obviously, because they think she is like she has some evil intent because of course how she came to land and how she was dressed. So they don't trust her. And also a lot of people, and when I mean a lot of people, the people who are like supposed to help the king and stuff like that, like assistants and stuff like that, they don't like her either, because they're kind of sort of trying to take out the king. And when they find out that she is the king's seer and she can see what people try to do to him, they gotta take her out so they can take him out. But it's just some shit like that. When I tell you people are gunning for her ass, they were gunning for her ass in this book. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. They were really trying to take this girl head off. Like I'm not playing. I would have been gone up out of here. Like, you gotta take me back to Earth, cause I don't know what y'all doing and what's going on, but y'all ain't about to take me out, okay? And also, let me mention, when it comes to the romance, this is a fucking slow burn. Slow burn. I think this was like my realization that I really did not like slow burn, this book right here, because again, I think it's 3 books in the series. I finished the first one. I ended up stopping in the middle or maybe closer to the beginning of the second one because it was such a slow burn, because I was like, okay, nothing really popped off sexually between the two in the first book. Understandable. I mean, she is new to this world. She's trapped here. She wants to go back home. He's trying to figure out who she is. She's trying to figure out who he is. Understandable. Even though it is some sexual tension between the two, I understand why nothing's popping off, okay? But then you get to the second book and then nothing is still happening. Nothing is happening. And it's like, when I'm saying nothing, like nothing happened in the first book, and in the second book the farthest they got is kissing. It's 3 books, so am I gonna have to wait till the 3rd book for some smut to happen? Like, what's going on? Truly, honestly, tell me, what's the tea? I don't know. But baby, I just didn't have time and the patience, so I ended up DNFing the second book. But now that I'm visiting the plot of it, and also I think I DNF'd it because I ain't gonna tell y'all, because then I'll spoil the story. But long story short, I did DNF the second book, but it was a good story, and I think I will hop back into it, because as I'm reading these, I'm rereading these synopses to you guys and like re-explaining the story to you guys. It's bringing me back to that time in 2022 where I read like 30-something books in a month. I was just eating real good, and a lot of these books was in that month because it was just so good. And then again, it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I could read like a lot faster on my Kindle than I can on my physical books and stuff like that. But yeah, The King's Seal by L.S. Bethel, highly recommend that one. If you like slow burn, then that one's definitely for you, because nothing sexually is probably going to happen to the third book. Okay. And now we're here at book 10, the last book, and this is none other than Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is actually the only book within all of these books that I mentioned that are of a black woman in an interracial relationship, but it is not written by a black woman. This is actually, if I'm not mistaken, she's just a white woman. I don't know. But to be honest with you guys, so with that being, putting that into your mind that this is the only book that's not written by a black woman, I would definitely say this is the only one that doesn't have a lot of culture, really. Like, the only way you know her being black is the description of her skin tone, her having braids, and that's it. That's pretty much it. That's the best explanation I can give you guys as to how you know this is a black woman in this book, is because of the description of her. Well, as for the other ones, they have all these other cultural elements added to them, so you know that there's like black women in those books. And also the cover of them all, well, not all of them, but majority of the covers have black women on the covers. This is just, it's not, because this is part of the Billionaire series, I believe, with the final offer and the fine print. Yeah, you guys have probably all heard of this series before, but this is the second book in the series. This one I put last because when I read it, I really enjoyed it, but I feel like now that I really think back on it, it wasn't the best romance I read pertaining to a black woman and just any romantic partner, if I'm being honest. But it did the job for the time being. I might have to reread it and see how I feel about it now that it has been some time since I've read it. But I will say the art for the pages are truly so beautiful. Oh, look at this. This is so cute. I'm trying to show you guys. And this is Iris. This is her page. It's what her pages look like. They're so cute. Okay, yeah, so I just had to show you guys that because I think that is so cute. Again, I read this on my Kindle Unlimited. So I think all of them, except for the Brown Sister series, are on Kindle Unlimited. So, yeah. But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Those were all my first part top 10 books of black women just being loved on and interracial relationships, pretty much, because all of these are interracial romances. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and also make sure you turn on your notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. And before I end, I do have to shout out all of you guys, because as of right now, the time that I'm recording this, we are sitting at 700 subscribers. Stop. I love you guys so much. For all you people who are subscribing, liking the video, watching the video consistently, having your notification bells turned on. I was meaning to say this at the beginning of the video, but I forgot. It just slipped my mind completely. But I'm so happy that we made it to 700 subscribers. We're almost at 1,000, so I really hope you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment. It helps me in the algorithm so people can see my channel and, you know, subscribe. Because eventually, I think when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I do want to do a giveaway. That's my goal right now. So I'm still thinking of what I want to give away and stuff like that. But please, if you guys haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Share the video so that other people may view it and may want to subscribe as well, so we can get to 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.